What's up, you guys? I hope you're very well. I hope you're having a very nice day. Today, we're going to be working on this little Japanese black pine. I think you've seen this in previous videos where I showed you that it's possible to grow a little bonsai from seed. And you can see that it's now in a really cool stage of its development. A little trunk there. It's starting to gain that ancient look, slowly but surely. This is becoming a really cool little project. It's growing in a pot that would be suitable for a bonsai tree, but this is a pre bonsai. So it's sort of like I don't know. This is a little seedling that I had, and I just put it this in this pot so that it would look good already. And also, you can see that it's got ample room to grow in. So I think that was, the reasoning behind this particular decision. So in this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out some of the old needles that we have here, just because we can clearly see that these years new shoots are opening. Yeah. These are usually super vigorous and they become huge, long candles. But in this little tree in particular, because it's so small and maybe the nutrition wasn't perfect last year, you can see that it's only produced small candles like this. But yeah, I intend to remedy that in the future. So anyway, this is a procedure that you have to do because you want to balance the energy of the tree. The apical dominance of the tree is going to make shoots that you have further down the trunk to die out, and this is what happens in every plant really. Even if they have no apical dominance, if they are very shrubby, when the trunk or the branches start to thicken, well, the first leaves or the first needles start to die out, and the tips of the branches or the tips of the little twigs are the ones that produce the new growth. So what we can do with Japanese black pine is to pinch them, uh, pluck the needles, so that we send that message to the tree that we want equal energy. So another thing that happens is that when the needles become excessively long, what happens is that the little shoots further down they get covered by the longer needles up top, and that weakens the shoots that we might need in the design. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to place the camera down, try to find an angle that we can work with so that you can see what I do. It's pretty, straightforward. I'm just going to grab the needle and pull. Some people like to do it with tweezers, a tool that's specific for this task. But I'm just going to do it with my fingers since it's not such a huge tree. Anyway, I'm going to put the camera down and then we'll continue from there. Yeah, so here we go. So, the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the needles that grow between the little crutches of the shoots. We can see that over here we got this little shoot here, and we got another one over here. So I'm going to remove those so that we will get more light and air into this section. Also, it's a very good idea to remove the ones that are directly above it so that, like I said, it gets more sunlight. The little shoot can be vigorized by said sunlight, right? To be perfectly honest with you, I'm sure I'm messing up the calendar. Maybe this is something that you have to do earlier. This is something that you have to do, during the first stages of spring or before the little shoots have opened. Um, but I've never actually sat down and studied the best time to do this. So I know that I have to do it. I'm just not 100% clear as to when. Um, so that looks good. I'm going to do the same with this little section here. I'm going to remove some of the needles directly above the little shoot so that it can get bigger eyes. Yeah. We got another shoot hidden away over here. So maybe we can move it like so. Here it is. And I don't mind these needles here because we got absolutely no shoots coming from this section of the plant. But this one, these ones that we have here do pose a bit of a problem for the shoot because they are growing in such a way that they're blocking the light, and we don't want that. So I'm going to remove them. Yeah. And another thing is you could be strategic about this. You know, um, at the end of the day, you're only going to get new bots, um, or your chances of getting new bots increase if you leave a lot of green in a particular area. So, for example, let's just say I want a new shoot coming from this section right here. Well, a good idea would be to remove the needles on one side while I leave some of the needles on the other side untouched so that I have more chances of getting a new shoot in that position. Yeah. So maybe this is something that I can think about when I'm removing them in the future or even right now. Another thing that I want to do is in this summer I'm going to apply a little bit of wire, and this little shoot that we have here is going to become the main branch. What I'm going to do is I'm going to rotate it like so, and now this little branch is going to point in this direction. Well, this becomes a back branch, and we got the second branch over here. And then the top of the tree already has these little nice shoots. We got one, two over here, three, four, and this is going to be the perfect sacrifice branch. Yeah. So I think I'm going to continue doing this. If I see another little shoot, I'm going to remove the needles around it. I'm also going to remove some of the needles that we have here on the top. And I'm going to call it a day on this little guy. I'm also going to show you an update on the tiny, tiny Japanese black pine that I'm doing, the one with a huge sacrifice branch. So let me just continue working on this for a couple of minutes. We call it a day, and then we go to that one. Okay, so here we go. So here we are. Quite a difference. You can see that I remove a ton of needles. I wonder if you could do something with them. I think it was last year or 2 years ago. We went to my wife's grandparents' house up in the mountains, and there was someone doing crafts with pine needles. Granted, they were longer pine needles, but they were like weaving and doing things like little bags or something like that. So I'm pretty sure Japanese people have found an interesting way to work with these. Anyway, this is how much I removed, and this is the structure of the little guy, right? So we can see the main branch over there, shoot over here. I think we have another one over here. It's a tiny one, so if it's tiny, when the time comes to the candle, you don't touch it. You don't even look at it. And I think we have another one over here, exactly like that. So anyway, it's fertilizing time, right? This season I'm gonna fertilize generously, and yeah, a lot of nitrogen so that it can continue to grow and grow. Okay, so two things. this is it for this little guy, but I'm going to show you the other one, the tiny one, and also that little guy over there. So here we go. So here we are. We can see that the candles that we left on the bottom are opening up nicely, and I think this is going to be the planting angle. That larger one over here, that's going to be the main branch, and this one right here is going to be the apex. So when I decandle, we're going to take care of the little buds, and those are going to be our new branches. And I just want you to look at how vigorous it is. The new candles are now opening, and yeah, I'm just going to leave one to be the next part of the sacrificial branch. We got these pollen sacs over here. It'd be quite nice if it produced little seeds. I got tons and tons of Japanese black pine seed, but I'm crazy for them. I just like to plant and plant anything I can get my hands on, really. So yeah, over here we can see other little guys in different stages of development. Italian stone pines and more Japanese black pines. Pomegranate and our root over rock project. Another Japanese black pine. Okay, so the last one is going to be our little terrarium that we have in the. Um, oh, that was over there in the table where I was working on the first Japanese black pine. So let's go ahead and see that. So here it is, our little terrarium projects. In the background of one of my previous videos, someone saw one of these, and I said, "Oh, those look cool," and I thought uh, I'd show them to you properly in another video, and maybe I'll make a video of how I make these. But it's pretty straightforward. You just have to put a big layer of drainage here, and yeah, they look quite nice. I got the inspiration for this from Japanese videos and Japanese benders, not necessarily classical bonsai masters, but people in Japan that sell these little uh, bonsai, like little bonsai. How can I say this? Very similar to bonsai, but in tiny little pots, or maybe terrariums with a little plant that's very traditional for bonsai, like Japanese black pine or juniper. But anyway, I thought if I made them open like this, and I water frequently, planted a little moss here and there, it looked cool, right? So yeah, in the future, like I said, I might show you um, the process of how I make this. But like I said, it's pretty straightforward. And a little bonus update: my little cerisa. You just missed the blooming, but it's doing well. It's healthy. So anyway, I hope you really like this video. If you have any comments, doubts, questions, anything, drop them down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.